at Song Mentor, and today's relaxed selection is about a fellow by the name of Eddie Balchowski. Well, you might not know who that is, but he's the subject matter of a beautiful Jimmy Buffett song entitled "He Went to Paris." "He Went to Paris" was the last single released from an album entitled "A White Sport Coat and a Pink Crustacean," which was just one of many wonderful album titles from Jimmy Buffett. It's a touching song about a Spanish Civil War veteran named Eddie Balchowski that Jimmy Buffett met in Chicago while he was performing there. Jimmy Buffett chose not to perform this song live very often until he found out that Bob Dylan was a huge fan of the song. That changed his mind about performing it. It's popular with audiences and just an absolutely gorgeous song. Here's Jimmy Buffett, "He Went to Paris." Okay, well, I have to tell you, I wasn't completely sold on including this in my program. I do advertise the greatest songs on earth, and to be honest with you, this song is kind of one of my greatest songs on earth. Not necessarily others feel that way, but I was wrong. I watched Jimmy Buffett perform this song live in Olympia, Washington, and not only did the audience sing along, they knew every word, and they seemed to all know every word. It wasn't just a few people singing. It was everybody. And I think he was really quite touched that this song was so beloved by his audience. So it is absolutely worthy of being in the program here, and I make no apologies. I love the song, but I just wanted to say that, boy, this is really one of those wonderful songs that he now includes in his concert tours. "He Went to Paris" is a simple song as far as chords go. There are 3 chords. 2 of them, for the main part of the song, there are 3 chords. 2 of them we're going to suss. So the first chord is an open A chord, and I'm playing it this way. You can, one popular way to play this is to kind of go 1, 2, 3 like that, just like almost like a D7 chord, but all on the 2nd fret. Like that. I just prefer to bar it with the first finger. So open A chord, and then we're going to sus 4 that. And the way we do that is just to take our 3rd finger and add it to the D note of the B string, the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. A sus. Need an open D chord, an open E chord, and we're also going to sus that. And the way we do that is just by flattening out our pinky finger to include this note, which is the A note on the G string. So open A sus, open D, open E sus, and then for the instrumental section of the song, which is just a kind of a quick playthrough, we're going to need an F sharp minor bar chord and a B bar chord, in addition to some of those other chords we just talked about. So essentially it's a 3-chord song with a little instrumental break that includes those 2 chords, F sharp minor and a B bar chord. And that's it. The trick to this song now is to figure out how to strum it and the rhythm that we're going to use in the song. Well, there's a lot going on in the original, and at first I was a little bit apprehensive here because I'm not the world's greatest finger picker. I thought, should I instruct this in a finger picking style that it might be more faithful to the original? And then I watched Jimmy Buffett play it and saw him strumming away just with his 6th string. And so that's how I'm going to teach it to you. A little bit of picking in the strumming style, but essentially we're going to strum this song that sort of feel to it. I think that's going to work really well for this song. Okay, I said we wouldn't do a finger-picked version of this song, but we will do some picking in it, as in this intro. So what I've created here is a little 2-bar intro, or 4-bar intro as opposed to 8. So we've halved it, and again, that's simply because Jimmy Buffett includes, I think, a mandolin and a few other things. He brings in some other instruments, but we'll settle for these 4 bars like this. So what we're really doing there is just playing around with an A and an A sus and picking through it a little bit. So we'll take a closer look at what that right hand, or left hand rather, is doing. You can see I'm picking through starting on the A note. And there I'm just adding the A sus and picking through that. That little pick thing there, I'm picking both strings. Here's a right hand look. See how I'm hitting both the third and the second strings there? Let's take it really slow. And looking at both hands again. There's a nice little intro. Okay, so the song essentially repeats what's coming up here, which is the verse sequence, 4 times. In the middle of those 4 verses is that little instrumental interlude, which features the F sharp minor and the B minor. So we'll get to that in a moment. But once we capture the strumming pattern and the work with these verses, you'll have most of the song. So strumming pattern, we want to keep it simple and light. And we want to include the sus chords, the A sus chord, and then at one point in the verse, the E sus chord as well. So something like this. Okay, you can see there that we're basically working with A sus, A sus. We've got an open D chord, the E with, again, with the second, third, and fourth fingers so that you can use the pinky to play the E sus eventually. Just nice, simple, light, easy strumming and easy chording there. Let's take a nice close look at it from a right-hand perspective. Okay, a couple of things to note just before we head into a playthrough of the intro and a verse progression. And that is, you'll notice that at the end we add 2 little measures of basically what amounts to the intro again. But instead of playing 4 bars, we're going to play 2. And that's just going to transition us into the second verse. just to transition us into that next verse. The other thing to note is that there's a really quick D-E change at the end of the verse during the lyric, and 4 or 5 years slipped away. And 4 or 5 years slipped away. So really, what we would normally play and have been playing one chord in that time span. For that little section there, we double up and go do the quick D, E, and then get back to finish in the A and head into that next verse. He went to Paris looking for answers to questions that bothered him so. He was impressive, young and aggressive, saving the world on his own. But the warm summer breezes, the French wines and cheeses, put his ambition at bay. And summers and winters scattered like splinters, and 4 or 5 years slipped away. All right, I should probably save this for fine tuning, but I can't resist telling you now. There's a little bit that Jimmy Buffett does when he performs this live that I'm going to share with you, and it's just a little guitar riff that connects a little bit here, and he does it right here. But the warm summer breezes, the French wines and cheeses, put his ambition at bay. Summers and winters scattered like splinters. And it's really that, it reminds me of Take My Breath Away. But and all it is open E, F sharp, open A, B, and that's that little run that takes us back into the A chord. By the warm summer breezes and French wines and cheeses, put his ambition at bay. Summers and winters scattered like splinters. That's where it fits in. Just a little trick and kind of a neat thing that Jimmy does himself. All right, that little instrumental interlude that we talked about, and there's orchestration and whatnot in here, but we're just going to strum through it rather strongly here, a little bit more strongly than the verses, because it picks up in intensity at this point. And the way to get into that is it's coming out of two of those, and we're going to play. Basically, the open A note, reach down and grab an A flat note on the 6th string, and then the F sharp minor bar chord. And we can actually do that twice if you want. We can do it like this. That's the sequence of it. It's as simple as that. One more time. All right, before we do a final playthrough, let's talk about the ending of the song. And so what we're going to do here is, after the final verse, it goes back to, he went to Paris. And this time, instead of the quick D and E, it holds the D and holds the E, like so. He went to Paris, looking for answers to questions that bothered him so. Now we could just end on that A and on that lyric, that bothered him so. I have devised a little optional ending for you here, so you can try this. He went to Paris looking for answers to questions that bothered him so. It's actually played way up here, but it's a little bit hard to get way up there and then back down. So it sounds quite nice at the bottom as well. And here's the note sequence. It actually starts at an open E, and then a D and a C sharp, and then the open B string. So it's open, 3, 2, open, and then 2, 1, 2 on the third string, and then a quick E and A chord to finish it off. So again, a nice little optional ending for you. All right, to finish off our visit with Jimmy today, let's do a final playthrough, and we'll take it from that instrumental section, play the final and sing the final 2 verses, and then the ending of the song. Here we go. Took his baby, bombs killed his lady, left him with only one eye. His body was battered, his whole world was shattered, and all he could do was just cry. While the tears were falling, he was recalling the answers he never found. Hopped on a freighter, skidded the ocean, left England without a sound. Now he lives in the islands, fishes the pylons, and drinks his green label each day. He's writing his memoirs and losing his hearing, but he don't care what most people say. Through 86 years of perpetual motion, if it likes you, he'll smile and he'll say, Jimmy, some of it's magic, some of it's tragic, but I've had a good life all the way. He went to Paris looking for answers to questions that bothered him so. All right, fine tuning for He Went to Paris. Well, we've got a couple of neat little tricks in this song, but I have to tell you, we want to keep, what you need to do with this song is keep the strumming really simple, or if you decide to go into a finger picking style for this song, keep it simple, because the most important thing with this song is the story. It's an amazing, wonderful story, which is why fans worldwide love this song so much. He Went to Paris, Jimmy Buffett. We'll see you next time on Song Mentor.